for a reason. Because we believe I think the two main points, aku ngomongnya campur-campur aja ya. The two main points that really stuck with me from Wider's presentation is that what is necessary for more people to take risk in terms of growing this bioeconomy and regenerative agriculture and also regenerative forest business is one, making sure that there's claimable, trackable, reliable impact on the ground, whatever it is that you want to tell your consumers in terms of stories. And secondly, you need a much more public-facing approach so that it becomes something that is considered seriously. And that's why we think kind of putting everybody in the room together and talk about narrative is also something that we should invest on in terms of time. Ini slide aku bahasa Indonesia, nggak tahu sih, kayaknya bahasa Indonesia sih. Benar nggak sih? Oh nggak tahu harus ngomong ke siapa, oh benar. Ini bahasa Indonesia, tapi jadinya mungkin ngasih konteks aja teman-teman. Beberapa narasi dasar yang lagi kita coba kembangkan. One of the core narrative that we're trying to kind of look at in terms of the Earth-Centered Economic Coalition is this type of narrative that the government of Indonesia is basically saying green economy is this very exciting opportunity for us to get free out of the middle income trap. Jadi ini katanya bisa jadi strategi kita nih gitu, dan ini diomongin lagi setelah udah lama sebetulnya diomongin, tapi tahun ini karena kita sedang merencanakan our long-term development plan for the next 20 years, then suddenly government start talking about it again. Boleh next? Nah, the second, and I'd like for all of us to kind of give a big round of applause because finally bioeconomy is in our long-term development plan officially. So I don't know what happened, but I think a lot of people kind of pushed it over to that direction, but it's very clear in terms of what is in there, and it's very consistent to what Bang Ontai have talked about, what Widar have talked about, and hopefully what all of you will believe in. So R&D, new economy, kind of investing on the basic component of infrastructure, human resources, but also nomor 4 nih, one of the core I think is you need to really dig deeper on diversifying value creation opportunities. Then it becomes a bioeconomy. But then they also highlight that there actually have not been one single narrative that everybody believes in terms of bioeconomy for stakeholders in Indonesia. So this is the challenge. Boleh next? Then for us, this is one of the most realistic kind of point of reference of what the reality on the ground is for Indonesia. If we look at Indonesia's investment target for 2040, more than 90% goes into extractive. Coal is so big, it becomes an entire thing, plus mineral, plus oil and gas. And then if you look at what we're talking about here, forestry, agriculture, plantation, and ocean, it's less than 10% of the entire downstreaming investment target of Indonesia. So what do we want to achieve is basically to find what is the balance point, what is the equilibrium between kind of transitioning from the negative impact and actually growing the sector that's not growing enough yet. Boleh next? This is about our coalition. It's 34 members. I don't want to go into detail, but basically one narrative that we're trying to push, boleh dibalik, is this type of balance, but the balance that we refer to is human, nature, and kind of the universe or the greater power. Why do we highlight this and through biodiversity innovation is because Brazil as a country, they went through this whole narrative shift and bioeconomy suddenly became a thing. Regenerative forest business became a thing that is controlled again by the larger scale player with very little interest in balancing the community rights and protection. So this type of balancing act is something that we'd like to also highlight in terms of narrative. Boleh di next? So this is basically the 3 principles that we think maybe we can discuss as at least a narrative point. So one is restoring the ecosystem function back, both ecological and also social, because right now we're in the minus point. The second part is the collective action with the strengthening of local community as part of the natural resource management. And then the end goal, right? Like why is it that we do what we do? Is basically to eradicate poverty, to reduce inequality, to actually make peace and security. So whatever it is that we do, this is the end goal. Boleh di next aja. I think I'd like to end on this note and say that what Kak Widar have mentioned from the Pioneers Buyers research, what Bang Ote have mentioned, is also quite consistent when it comes to what our members have decided to focus on and build narrative around. So the commodities would be coffee, coconut, cacao, bamboo, non-timber forest product, aquaculture, and ecosystem services. And again, consistent to who's here, the main sector would be food and beverages, health, beauty, and industry and technology. I'd like to flip several slides. Boleh di kedepanin? Yeah, several slides just quickly. Just to look at this, the ask is for you to look at the wordings and think about it as whether the narrative jump into your mind, strengthening the reason why you want to support this. So, petani, pekebun, nelayan yang tangguh. Is that one of the main reason why this should become something that excites everyone? Because 1 out of 7 people, this is actually I got it from one of our members, statistic. one out of 7 people in Indonesia works in agriculture. That includes also forestry into the mix, supply chain. Second, para penjaga budaya kearifan lokal dan identitas bangsa. So, are we fighting for the ones that's preserving our culture, our local wisdom, and our country identity, our nation identity? Is that something that becomes a powerful narrative so people can get around and support? Because 4.57 million local and indigenous community are spread across Indonesia. So that's the second narrative. Third, or is it the excitement to actually support new type of entrepreneurs that are innovative and sustainable? Because there's more than 300,000 impactful businesses. One of them is Duanyam sitting right there within the study, right? Bappenas has issued a study in 2020, and they're spread around Indonesia as well. Or, nextnya, boleh, is it the fact that we want to prove that Indonesia can be a great host for impactful, also daring and bold funders? We have IIA in the room, we have part of the philanthropic community in the room as well, because we do have data that says more than 1 billion of impact investment actually went into Indonesia between the year of 2020 and 2022, and that's the biggest in Asia, Southeast Asia. Or are we excited about actually allowing consumers to be part of the picture? Because more than 70 million of households are our potential consumers in 2022. And this is, pandemic talk has always been thinking about how to do this, but in a gray area, kind of involving the regular people into the mix, right? That's it, I think. One more? Yeah. The last one is jobs. Is this the narrative that we want to push? Because 15.3 million potential jobs can be created when it comes to restorative economy by 2024. And this is a data that was issued by Chelios. I don't know if Chelios is in the room, one of our partners. Okay, so that's the offer of the narrative, and let's discuss. I'm going to go around, so we'll discuss as an entire room, actually. We have some trigger commentaries that have represent expertise, but the hope is that by the end of the session, at least we'll get more confident that this is something that we all can rally against. Well, not rally against, rally for. not against, really for together through a strong narrative gitu sih. Jadi kalau dari koalisi ekonomi Bumi, our goal is actually to find the first 100 bioeconomy entrepreneurs and make them connect to the supply chain, but also to the opportunity of leveraging resources as well as part of our 8%. Don't forget, this is also another narrative. 8% of Indonesia's economic growth by 2045. Can we get there by including bioeconomy? Oke, siap teman-teman. Mari kita sudah siap untuk berdiskusi. Panik? Kok nampak tidak bersemangat? Boleh ya tuh kalau misalnya siap tuh mungkin diangkat jempolnya. Bisa kali, iya kan? Oke, siap kalau gitu. So I'm going to do this in like Bahasa/English. So I'm going to cue the question in maybe in English. If you want to answer in Bahasa, then I'll also help translate. So we want to be quite inclusive as well in the discussion. We do have some commentary, so I'd like to actually begin. Karena tadi udah dipancing kan sama Bang Onte, sama Mas Widar, mungkin sama narasi-narasi dari kita juga. Maybe I actually want to start from what is bioeconomy? Karena takutnya tuh salah, scientifically speaking. So we do have academics in the room for that reason. And Mas Angga, coming from SITH ITB, has been a thought leader actually. He's very humble. So he'll say no, I didn't do that. But he's been the thought leader since maybe 2016, 2015. So if you track back all of the research on bioeconomy, bioprospecting, a lot of them are quoted from this gentleman right here. So maybe Mas Angga, boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia, boleh pakai bahasa Inggris. Kira-kira bioekonomi jawab tuh kayak apa, Mas Angga?
Thank you, Mbak Kita. Hello everyone. So yeah, bioeconomy is a really interesting concept. We've heard this the past few years, and